You need to learn a skill, a valuable skill set that society thinks is valuable and people will pay you for. Anyways, it says they are unprepared for a less structured environment, workplace, cultural dynamics, and the expectations of autonomous work. Although they may have some theoretical knowledge from college, they often lack practical real-world experience and soft skills required to succeed in work. And that's another thing with these soft skills, right? So I always tell my students, those my online students through my business or those that I deal with through my job, but especially those that I deal with through my job, because like I say, these are mostly younger adults. Like I say, anywhere between the ages of like 18 about 25-ish is, most of the people that I deal with. They can learn the hard skills. I mean, they can go out there, learn what they got to learn and get certified. But the soft skill part, oh my goodness, man. It's like speaking a foreign language to some of them. It's like some of them really just don't really comprehend this idea that when you go sit down and do a job interview, yes, it is important for you to have the skills. It is important for you to have whatever relevant certification that you might have to have. But the most important part of the whole job interview is convincing people to like you enough to hire you. Because you could be the best at doing this, that, and the third, but if you have a crappy attitude, or if you didn't brush your teeth, go in there and slap. Listen, I actually have to have these conversations with Gen Zers, right? I actually have to tell Gen Zers, I'm like, hey, man, I don't know if you guys notice this. If you're around some high school people, like you got a high school next to you, or you got a bunch of high schoolers that live in your neighborhood, because I got a bunch of them that live in my neighborhood, right? Look at how they dress when they go to school. A lot of them literally look like they just rolled out of bed in their pajamas. They don't even comb or brush their hair. And they just go to class. They go to class in their freaking Crocs, their freaking slippers, their house shoes. They literally look like they rolled out of bed. I be telling people, I'm like, man, back in the 90s when I was in high school, it was a mission to be fresh to death going to school. Your clothes had to be crisp, iron. You got to have your J's, your Polo, your Tommy, whatever the hell we was rocking back then. We wanted to be fresh to death as soon as we stepped out of that house, because we knew it was choosing season out there. If we was out there trying to holler at the honeys and all that stuff. These youngins today, males and females, man, they just roll out of bed and go to class. The high school kids, the college kids, they all just look homely. I guess is the best way to. And right now I'm sitting in my house and I got on some freaking basketball shorts and a black t-shirt and my freaking Crocs, but I'm in my house. If I were to go to my job or go to the store, I'm gonna put on something a little bit more decent. They don't believe in any of that crap. This is just how they like to dress. They like to look all lackadaisical. And I keep telling people, I'm like, listen, all of this ties into your soft skills ability, because legally these companies cannot discriminate against you based off of race, gender, sexual orientation, all the stuff that we know that they can't discriminate against you off of. But if you come into a job interview looking like you just woke up, yes, I can legally discriminate against you because you don't represent the image that I want represented at my company as far as the way you dress is concerned. Or if you come in there smelling like, hot Cheetos or whatever. I don't know how well that job interview is going to work, but anyways, you try explaining this to youngins, they just don't seem to comprehend this. At least in my travels, they just don't seem to comprehend that. Listen, B, it's great that you know all this stuff. You know how to do this, that, and the third. But my mans, I'm gonna need for you to go out there and learn how to dress professionally, or at least business casual. Put some damn black socks on with them damn hard bottom church shoes. They got on some damn Nike socks. Anyways, it's crazy as hell. But these are just the things that's going on with these Gen Zs. Goes on to say, and because Gen Z already has a stereotype of being lazy, I just said this, or uncooperative in the workplace, employers might be primed to find problems with the generation of workers that is adapting to full-time jobs for the first time. Goes on to say, it can be easy for managers to buy into typical stereotypes of Gen Z and dismiss them entirely. It says, however, companies have an equal responsibility to prepare recent graduates for their particular workplace and give them the best chance to succeed. So I somewhat agree with this statement, maybe 50-50. My thing is, if you're a young person out there, you need to be going to these companies as prepared as much as you can possibly get yourself prepared to succeed, instead of you relying upon these companies to do everything in their power to get you successful. Meaning, if you're applying for a job and you look at the job posting and it says, hey, you need to know this, that, and the third, right? And you're like, well, I don't know this, that, and the third. Well, what is stopping you from going online to go take a course to learn this, that, and the third, or at least reading up on it, watching some videos on this, that, and the third, so you can have some type of familiarity with whatever the heck it is that they're talking about. So when you go into the job interview, interview, you can at least have a halfway decent conversation about this, that, and third, as opposed to you going into a job interview and just expecting them to completely just train you on everything. Yes, these jobs will train you on stuff and how they do certain things, yada, yada, yada. But I guess what I'm trying to say is these youngins, they don't seem to have much motivation, desire, and initiative as it relates to the workplace in terms of investing in themselves to better themselves, trying to keep up with the trends on their own instead of waiting for somebody to tell them what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. These youngins, they want to be told what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And then when you tell them all that, a lot of them are going to try to figure out a way to avoid doing all that so they can come back and cry and play victim of some sorts later on. Like, that's what's going on with a lot of these youngins. It says across the board, 75% of companies reported that some or all of their recent college graduate hires were unsatisfactory. Employers most often cited a lack of motivation in their recent graduate hires at 50%, while 39% said poor communication skills and 46% said a lack of professionalism made this cohort difficult to work with. But according to HR consultant, whatever this guy's name is, it says the problem likely isn't Gen Z, but instead the larger educational system. It says, as someone who went through years of education, including law school, I can tell you this: colleges are not preparing students for the real world. And that is true. Once again, a lot of these youngins are just going to college because it's expected. This is what mommy and daddy told them to do. And look, I have these constant debates with my own parents. So my parents, they're in their 60s. Back in their day, college was a big deal in the 70s and 80s. I mean, that was something that could really separate you from the masses because everybody wasn't going to college like that back then. And then I remember in the 80s, you had TV shows like A Different World came on, which was a huge inspiration for me, which, eventually led me to going to an HBCU. Shout out to Tuskegee University. But even before that, I remember as a kid always being told, you're going to go to college, you're going to go to college, you're going to go to college. And truthfully, when I was in high school, I didn't even know what the heck I wanted to go to college for. I was just like, I guess I'm going to college because that's what I've been hearing all my life. That's on the TVs. Everybody go to college. And, this is what supposedly you're supposed to do to make it in life. So anyways, I won a scholarship and went to college and majored in aerospace engineering. After college, I joined the U.S. Army and didn't even apply that degree. I went to IT when I joined the Army. And the reason why is because initially I had planned on joining the Army straight out of high school. That was actually my plan because one, I wanted to move out of my parents' house. And at the time, I didn't really want to go to college like that. But anyways, I'm saying all to say older generations view college as to where they think it's a necessity that you have to do this, that, and the third to be successful. And when it comes to my own children, I have these little debates with my parents. They always tell me, oh, they need to go to college. They need to do this. They need to do that. Now, granted, I'm already paying for their college education, but at the same time, college, in my opinion, is not a necessity anymore. What is a necessity to succeed in life is basically four things. I did a video on this months ago, a little short video, but this is my personal belief about how you can succeed in America if you just do four simple things in life. And what are those four simple things? First thing is you need to graduate high school and know how to read, write, and do math at a functional level. When I say functional, I mean, can you go out there and calculate your paycheck? Meaning you work X amount of hours for X amount of pay. Can you do the math to figure out if you're getting paid correctly? When you look at your bank account, can you do some basic math to figure out if you got enough money to cover X, Y, and Z? Can you read a basic contract? Like, can you just do things in society to allow for you to remain functional as an adult? So graduate high school, read, write, do math at a functional level. Second thing you need to do, you need to avoid becoming a baby mama or a baby daddy. That's the second thing you need to do, because you mess around and become a baby mama or a baby daddy, you're going to experience some financial woes in some form or fashion for at least 18 years. So if you plan on making kids, you need to go out there and make children with somebody you can see yourself being together with for a long time. Third thing you need to do, you need to avoid consciously doing things that you know damn well is going to put you in jail. I'm not talking about speeding tickets. We all get those from time to time. If you're one of these little dummies out here, you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna just go out here and rob somebody, put a pistol in their face and rob them. I don't want to hear you whining and crying when the sheriff come get you and lock you up, and then you in here complaining about racism, white supremacy, or the system holding you down. Look, I don't care. They need to hold you down. You shouldn't be sticking pistols in people's faces. You need to be held down. That's the third thing you need to do. And then the fourth thing you need to do, and this is actually the most important in my opinion, the fourth thing you need to do, you need to learn a valuable skill set that somebody in society is going to pay you for. That skill set doesn't necessarily require you to go to college. It doesn't necessarily require you to go to community college, tech college, whatever. Listen, I got a dude that cuts my grass. Listen, I've been cutting grass since I was 10 years old. When I was in the Army, I cut a lot of damn grass. I'm 44 years old. I'm not going outside on no damn Saturday morning in this Florida sun, and I'm not cutting a damn thing. I'd rather pay this dude $100 a month to come cut my grass. Matter of fact, I got to pay him tomorrow. Anytime I got some issues with my sprinklers, he'll get to digging up holes in the ground and fixing my sprinklers. He does this for me. He does this for the person that lives next door to me. And it's about 5, 6 other people in my neighborhood, maybe even 10 people that he does this for. And then he probably got about 5, 6 other neighborhoods, full about 5 to 10 other people in each neighborhood. Why is that? Because my man's has a skill. He hops on his little lawnmower, smoking his cigarettes, and gets to hooking my lawn up so the HOA don't come around dropping little letters in my mailbox talking about I'm about to get hit with a fine, because I'm not going outside to cut a damn thing. So I'd rather pay this dude to do that. I don't know if this guy went to college, tech college, community. I really don't give a damn, be honest with you. All I know is he has a skill that I think is valuable, and I'm willing to pay him $100 just so I can sit in my house in the AC and be sleeping on a Saturday morning while I hear him zipping around cutting my damn grass. So I'm saying all that to say, you need to learn a skill, a valuable skill set that society thinks is valuable and people will pay you for. That's what you need to do. People who go to college, they're not learning this crap. I was at my uncle's barbershop. Matter of fact, my uncle, he's another great example. So my uncle, I got an uncle who's like 11 years older than me. He's my mother's youngest brother. My uncle got a mouthful of gold teeth. My uncle used to be a dope boy back in the day. He used to sell all types of drugs, been in and out of prison all through the 90s. Finally, in the early 2000s, he decided he was done being a criminal. Got out of prison. I think he got out probably like 2003 or 2004. He ain't been back to prison since, right? During that time frame, he became a barber, worked at various barbershops, perfected his skill. Now he's in the process of opening up his own barbershop with his daughter. And his daughter, she does hair and nails. So they're going into business with each other where, obviously he'll be cutting hair. She'll be in there doing nails, and they'll have other beauticians in there. Anyway, this is my family. My uncle, he learned a valuable skill because he got a lot of people that come through and he'll just hook their heads up. He be cutting hair like a mug, right? I've been telling this dude, we need to get you a social media account so you can really get it boom, but he don't want to do all that. Anyways, I'm saying all to say, one day I was at the barbershop and he had this little jit up in the chair, right? For those y'all who are from Florida, jit is just a young person, a little jitterbug. But anyways, he had this youngin' up in the chair, and this young dude was talking about he's going to FAMU. And my uncle was like, well, what you plan on majoring in? And the youngin' was like, yeah, I'm a major in music theory, and then I'm a minor in psychology. I'm listening because I'm waiting to get my hair cut. I ain't saying that. I should have said something, but I'm listening. And the whole time this youngin' is in here getting his hair cut, talking about he want to go to school to major in music theory and get a minor in psychology. I'm thinking he ain't finna do nothing but go to FAMU and party his ass off. That's what he's finna do. He's finna be at all the parties. He's finna be at trying to pledge all the damn fraternities, because that type of degree, those are the type of degrees, all you gotta do is just write some BS research paper that might take you a weekend to write. And guess what? You at the club, you chilling. Cause look, when I was in college, all the students who majored in like psychology, philosophy, one of them damn degrees, they stayed at every freaking party. Everybody that majored in engineering, architecture, some hard science, you rarely saw them at a party unless it was on the weekends, because Monday through Friday, they in the damn library, they in the engineering building, the architecture building, working on the damn part. They don't have time to be partying and doing all this crap. But everybody else, they can write a little BS paper, or they can go out there and get them a little girlfriend and have her write the damn paper for them. And then they at the party just, throwing it up. So I'm looking at this youngin' in the chair. I'm like, this is exactly what this kid is going to do. And then once he graduates, I'm like, I don't know exactly where he's going to be working. I don't know what you're going to do with a degree in music theory unless you plan on becoming like a high school teacher. And nothing wrong with that if that's what you want to do. But I don't know what he plans on doing with that degree other than being a high school teacher, or he going to be at Chipotle putting beans on burritos. Like, I don't know what this guy is going to do. Now, I should have spoke up and said something, but I didn't know the youngin', and I didn't want to come in there flexing like, hey, youngin', I think you're about to waste your time and your money. You need to come learn this damn IT and stop playing games. But I ain't say nothing, but I just know based on experience, this is more than likely what he's going to do. He's going to go to college, waste his time. He'll probably graduate, but he ain't going to really do nothing. He's not going to really learn a hard skill that's valuable. He's going to be one of these people that this article is talking about where he don't know how to survive in the real world. He doesn't have a real world skill. He's never developed any real world experience that, can help him accelerate the process of becoming a fully functioning adult that isn't dependent upon mommy and daddy to, help aid his development, help him survive and thrive. Article says education today emphasizes theory over practice. It says, sure, learning Greek mythology is fascinating, but unless you're teaching it, how does that prepare you to communicate effectively in a corporate meeting or demonstrate professionalism? It doesn't. I done met so many people from when I was in college, and even people I come across today that major in African studies, African American studies. I always look at these people and I always say to them, I'm like, what are you going to do with that degree? Like, do you plan on getting like a doctorates in this stuff so you become a college professor? Because I don't know anybody who's hiring people in some type of history studies, African study. I don't give a damn what country or what region of the world. It could be Greek, like this article is talking. Like, who's hiring for this stuff? And then my thing is, do you really have to go to college to learn history? They got public libraries that are open for free with thousands upon thousands of books. You got online resources where you can just watch videos and tap into online databases and learn history till your eyeballs pop out your freaking head. I don't understand why people would pay thousands of dollars to go learn history when you can literally learn this stuff for free online or just go to your public library. Another thing I see with people who go to college for like psychology and things of that nature. I know one person, matter of fact, there's a person on YouTube. I'm not going to say who this person is. This person has a pretty large following on YouTube, even though their channel's not monetized, but they have a psychology degree. And they always like to bring up the fact that they got a 4-year psychology degree. And I'm just like, what can you do with a 4-year psychology degree? I mean, unless you plan on going to the master's level or the PhD level, like, I just don't understand. Like, why did you go to college for a psychology degree and you don't plan on going above the graduate level? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, that's what a lot of young people are doing. They just think, hey, I'm gonna get my 4-year degree and then come out here and, take the pictures, the graduation pictures, and talking about, ooh, I smart. I was a college graduate, but they don't know how to survive and thrive, man. They don't have a hard skill that the 21st century says you need to have if you want to be successful. This is probably why you see a lot of them turning to TikTok and OnlyFans because, whatever. Article says Driscoll said employers are now asking for skills not prioritized by the education system. Where graduates subsequently fall short, companies are not investing in training either. So they want you to come to these jobs with skills already in hand. And then he's saying that these companies aren't willing to invest. I think you do need to come to these jobs with as many skills as you possibly can that match the job that you're trying to apply for. But also, if these companies, if they hire you and they're not willing to invest into you to help grow you professionally at that company by sending you to training courses related to the job that you're doing or the job that you're aspiring to do, if they're not willing to do that, then you need to question, why are you working for this company? If you're going to go there and give your all, click-clacking away, doing whatever the heck it is that you're doing to help make this company successful, profitable, so you can keep collecting your paychecks, but they don't want to invest time into you, whether, you want to go back to college and get a degree because you want to move up into a management position, or you want to go get this certification because this can help your career, which ultimately helps the company, blah, blah, blah. If they don't want to do that, then, you need to think about, what are you there for? Other than a paycheck, I mean, what are you there for? You could take your talents elsewhere to a company that is willing to invest into you. So keep that in mind. Says, instead of teaching new hires what they want from them, employers are simply firing workers for not being prepared. It's a cyclical issue that reflects systemic failures on multiple levels. Says the larger disconnect between higher education and the workforce will likely not be solved without strong onboarding and mentorship to bridge the gap. It says, not only are we creating a generation of workers who feel disillusioned and undervalued, but we're also stunting long-term growth in the workforce. Gen Z is hungry for development opportunities. I don't know how true that is. But if companies keep treating them as disposable assets, we're going to end up with the workforce that's both overworked and underprepared. It says the solution is not to stop hiring people fresh out of school, but instead change how education and professional development are viewed. Companies are failing workers by not taking responsibility for training and hoping that a college degree can substitute. Says it never has, and in our current system, it never will. All right, so I think that's the end of the article.